fire. Okay, guys, I'm gonna share you a little quick thing that's been on my mind. So just share screen real quick. Actually, I'll do two topics, and then yeah, that should be the one for today. So let's do this. Speed. Okay, so we got speed. We born it to speed, and then we also got oops. Uh how to what to do how to tackle overwhelm. So let's actually do the overwhelm one because it's more important. So boys, this is lately this September hasn't been so much of a good month, and I definitely felt the effects of that. I don't know how your guys' September went. Probably better than mine, but I was starting to feel pretty overwhelmed, and a lot of different emotions were rising to the surface towards the tail end of September. You know, the usual when you run a business or you're setting or you're closing. Like, you know what it's like. There's not as much stability as in like a 9 to 5. So it's normal for those things to come up. So I was starting to feel overwhelmed. And this is kind of the exercise that I've done to help me with that. And I'm gonna give props to one of my mentors, Jack Hopkins, just to kind of put it in a nutshell. This is what you do when you're feeling, this is at least what helped me and what helped him when we were feeling overwhelmed. So, okay, where's the typing? So what you want to do is usually the reason why we're overwhelmed is because our brain hasn't compiled the things that we need to do in a step by step one, two, three, like very easy digestible task. So you're thinking of all these problems, but you're not labeling it. You're not isolating it. You're, like in sales, you want to isolate objections. So let's say like you're dealing with all these problems and it's all over the place and it feels like I don't even know where to start. Well, the first way to handle that is knowing where to start. So what you're gonna do is label it. So you need to identify the problem, and then you need to break it down into steps that makes it manageable. You gotta eat like, for example, you're gonna cut up. You can't eat a whole elephant. I know it sounds absurd, but you can't eat a whole elephant. But what you can do, not that you guys would anyway, but what you can do is you can cut it up into slices and then eat it that way. And then boom, you just go slice after slice, cube after cube, and then you're done. Same sort of thing with our goals. So what you want to do is you want to type in on one column, and I recommend doing this on paper too, just because it hits different compared to typing it. But if you have to type it, you go ahead. And then you want to have personal, you want to have business. And then what you do, oh, why that's so big. And then what you want to do, so it's separate columns. You want to list out everything that's going on in your life right now. Doesn't matter if it's short term or long term. Like every problem that's on your mind right now and that's going on in your life, you want to separate it from business and personal. You just want to write it all down. You want to write it all down. So, for example, let's say, then you guys can do this by yourself. I mean, obviously you have to do it by yourself. So, let's say personal. Let's say I don't know. For me personally, I'll do my own example. So personal, move into new condo. I have to move into a new condo pretty soon. You guys will see that on the channel soon. So move into new condo. What else? It's personal. Pay off certain debts. Um, I'm gonna go see family tomorrow in the province. Talk to mom and stepdad back in the UK. And then I have all these other things that I have to do, etc., etc. Business, you know, book, book one to two plus calls, um, refine offer, connect, connect more students with positions, schedule student interviews, schedule guest, code guest speakers, and all this other stuff. Yeah, and then like whatever's after, right? Film more day, film more vlogs slash lifestyle content. So just write everything down onto the list until you can't think of any more. And then what you want to do is obviously it's split between personal and business. And then what you want to do now, so we've identified the problems. It's not just floating around in our head anymore and we're freaking out about it. Like, okay, we wrote it down, we identified the problems. Now what you want to do is take it a step further, and then we want to break it down into manageable chunks. So we need to like put steps within those. So what do we need to do when we move into the new condo? For me, I need to schedule a few more viewings. Once I find decide on the place, decide on the place, sign the lease, pack stuff from old condo, and then actually I need to confirm date with uncle because he's gonna help me move my stuff, pack stuff and move it. Yeah, and then like what anything after that, right? So I've taken something big like move into a new condo into small bite-sized chunks. And then if you want to take a step further, you can schedule you can break it down into smaller chunks. So like I've done like view place one, place two, place three, and then you can just tick it off like tick boxes, right? And then I do that with the rest of the stuff. I take the problem, I isolate the problems, and then I break it down into more manageable chunks. And then obviously there's some things that's pretty self-explanatory, like see family in the province. All I have to do is just go to like schedule a date and go. I'm gonna go tomorrow morning. And then yeah, in terms of business, same thing. It's like what do I need to do to, and again, it's talking about what inputs do I need to do to get the output. So what do I need to do to book 1 to 2 calls a day? It's like short form content, like post it, either that's IG Reels or YouTube Short or both. I do both. YouTube video, long form, post on stories, post the CTA or community post, and then that's gonna book the calls. Have appointment set, have convos with leads. You know the drill. And then I just go down. What I did was I went down into everything that I wrote down and broke it down into smaller steps. And then before you know it, you've taken everything that's in your mind and it feels like the world's collapsing on you. You've identified each and every actual problem that is actually causing that and that you need to tackle. And then you're breaking each and every one of those problems into smaller action steps. So now it's just a matter of you doing it and taking it off the list. Okay, did I post short form today? No, not yet. I will do that after this call. Did I post a YouTube video yet? No, not yet. Did I post some stories? Yes, I did. Did I do a CTA? Yes, I did. Have I viewed place one? Yes. Place two? Yeah. And then that's it. It's very simple. It's very simple, guys. Very, very simple. Personal business, and then you got it. And then another thing that really helps, which I have started using, it's called Eisenhower's Matrix. So all this is, it's named after one of the former US presidents, Dwight Eisenhower. I think that's his name. And you have 4 quadrants. You have urgent, oops. So we have urgent here. We have non-urgent. We have important, and then we have not important. You could put this as not urgent. So First quadrant here, the important task. So make the list again, and then this time you want to put it into one of the four quadrants. So it's either going to be urgent and important. It's going to be either not urgent but still important. It's going to be urgent but not important, and not important, not urgent. If it is urgent and important, it is. If it is urgent and important, then we call that. Then put it here. If it and then you just put it here, here, here. And then what you want to do is anything that is important and urgent, meaning it needs to get done as soon as possible, or else you're fucked. You have to do. So do those. If it is important still, but it's not as urgent, then you schedule. You schedule it into your calendar. You schedule it into your whatever in further down the line, in the future, in advance. If it is urgent, so meaning it needs to get done as soon as possible, but it's not necessarily important, but that's probably something like doing some shopping, like getting something from the shop as soon as possible, then you delegate. You offload it to someone else, or you find a way to automate it. And then the last one, if it's not neither important or it's neither urgent, then you delete. You know, you get rid of it. You don't do it. So this is most likely going to be distractions for you guys, like watching brain rot reels. Don't worry, I'm guilty of it too. I love my brain rot reels, but I need to cut down on it. So any distractions go here. And you'll find once you write all this down, things seem you go from overwhelmed to being like, okay, I can actually handle this. I know where to start now. This is good. Because a stressed mind doesn't produce good results. Everything making sense so far?
Yeah, can I just take a picture of that, please?
Yeah, it makes sense. I've been seeing way
Yeah.
too many memes liked by Matt Jacob, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Memes. Memes. Oh,
Like
like
brain
oh,
rot,
like
like brain rot.
oh. I'm being exposed right now. I do love my brain rot, guys. I'm just like I can't escape it, bro. But I do love it. So yeah, that's Matthew holding me accountable. He's seen it. He's seen the I've
Yeah,
left
I got
trail
an
there.
app for it because it takes too much time up.
Yeah, I left a trail there for sure. So digital footprint. So yeah, boys, this is what's really been helping me. This is what's been really helping me so far though. Because had I not done this, I'd probably be falling apart, like overwhelmed, bro, and I'd get nothing done. Like I'd be fucked. So shout out to Jack for this. The personal business list. And then this is kind of something I not came up with. It's Eisenhower who came up with it, but I just did it out of the blue and it actually really helped. Yeah, so that's that. That's how you tackle overwhelm, boys. And then I guess some mindset stuff is just, if you're in a bit of a rut right now or things aren't going the way you want it, then just know that you've solved 100% of all the problems that you faced in the past. Meaning you've always made it out and you've always were okay after going through that problem and you've always found a way to solve that problem. So what makes you think you're not gonna be able to solve it again? Like it's gonna work out no matter what, guys. Like until you're dead or your family dies or something terrible like that, you're always gonna figure it out and it's still okay. There's people that are going through way more and they're able to handle it. So you need to put your problems into perspective. Also, what's been helping, let me just say this real quick, getting back into gratitude. So actually, another thing I want to add as well, put things that you may put things that like maybe got you to a good month, for example, or got you to a good place in life that maybe you stop doing and that you need to do again. So for me, this brings me on to this. One thing that I was doing was showing gratitude. I was practicing gratitude. And surprise, surprise, whenever I was practicing gratitude, I seemed to have pretty good months. And I was in a good headspace. Whenever I stopped doing gratitude, then turns out my month wouldn't be so good. So getting to gratitude really helps me. Like every morning now, one of the first things I do is I list out 10 things that I'm grateful for. So something as simple as getting back to gratitude, just being grateful for the access to clean water you have, food, a roof over your head. You start off with things like that. Because no matter how bad of a spot you may be in, you always have things you can be grateful for. You know, your family members still alive, you have clean clothes, you know, the fact that you guys are on this call today, the fact that you guys have found my content, the fact that you guys are exposed to a different path from the 9 to 5 or going to university. The fact that we have working limbs, you know, I can type this, you guys can hear, you guys can see. There's people that are blind out there. There's people that have had their ears blown off, you know? So there's a lot to be grateful about. So I start my day now with 10 things to be grateful about. And I try to make it different as I can from like other entries. So I don't just keep saying the same thing. But yeah, guys, getting into gratitude really helps too. So practice that. Does that help, guys? Put a one in the
Yeah.
chat if it helps.
Someone had it worse and did it better.
Yeah. Yeah, someone had it worse, but they made it out. They figured it out, you know. So yeah, boys. I hope that helps.